Imagine that you had lived in 14 years ago. A fungal contamination caused the extinction of nearly 98% of life on Earth. This event created a chain reaction, leading to widespread famine across the globe and sparking a civil war, where survivors fought for every food reserve. In this apocalyptic scenario, the most valuable asset is land, because only those who can cultivate their own food have a chance to survive. Currently, a group of armed individuals finds a 40-hectare farm and decides to infiltrate the seemingly empty land. Despite this, the group leader calls the farm owner while sending some of his men to hide and explore the area. One man enters the barn but is attacked from behind with a knife. The others wander through the cornfield, but gunshots and they're exterminated in seconds. The group soon realizes it's a trap, but before they can do anything, they are hit by rifle fire. As a result, only one survivor remains, and that person manages to flee. But the person is unfortunately attacked by a young man named Mooney, who tackles him to the ground and stabs him. After the confrontation, Money's mother and the property Ailing Freeman gathers the rest of her family. They check if anyone survived, and to everyone's surprise, the person Money attacked, a young woman, is still alive. Even so, Haley orders her son to finish the job. Despite his hesitation, the boy shoots her, as they cannot risk others attempting to invade the farm. Later, the family gathers for dinner. Haley lectures on the importance of effort and discipline thanks to her military experience. She and Asterisk established a command center to monitor and communicate with other farmers, along with the weapons reserve. Additionally, they created a strict routine for their children to follow, helping them learn cultivation techniques and how to fight. Many days pass without major incident, until Haley makes contact with an old friend, Asterisk. She warns that farming family was attacked, and it appears the criminals are cannibals. Jojo advises Haley to be careful, as the group is still on the loose, and they might be the next target. Meanwhile, Money finishes his work on the farm, and without his mother knowing, he creates a gap in the fence. He goes to the lake to have some time alone when he unexpectedly spots a beautiful young girl in the distance. When it's time to leave, Money follows her and discovers she is a resident of the village where Jojo lives. He is happy to have met her, but needs to return home because he is late for the coming-of-age ceremony for his sister, Donies. She is then appointed a warrior by her parents, who must defend the farm at all costs. A few minutes after the ceremony, Money returns home and is scolded by Haley. She wants to know where he has been. Man says he went to the outskirts of Jojo's village and wanted to interact with the people there. However, Haley forbids it, as everything they need is on the farm, and their sole priority is taking care of their land. She then tells everyone to go informs that he will accompany Gan to the old station Donies on her first patrol. The next morning, the three travel to the location, while Haley stays home to take care of Asterisk Wren. Asterisk and Asterisk say the opportunity to tell the story of how she met Gwen during her time in the army. As well, Wren is curious about the world outside the farm, and whether there are other people their age out there. However, Haley simply avoids commenting on the matter, as she doesn't want to risk her children's lives amidst the chaos that has taken over the world. Back at the station, Donna's Gain and Manny continue to explore the place when she finds a room with several buttons hanging from the ceiling. Soon after, they encounter an armed group on the spot, with two of them wearing military uniforms. They say they are part of a patrol team to protect the rural area. They come from the Fleming's farm. Heating, Gon remembers what happened to that farming family, and without hesitation, he and the others use their weapons to eliminate the group. Afterward, Money suggests searching the victim's body, but as Donnie's attempts to do the same, she comes across one of the group members who is hiding. He signals for her to be quiet, but as soon as Donnie's turns away, the man shoots her and flees. Hearing the gunshots, Gan and Money rush to help the girl and took her back to the farm. Fortunately, the shot only grazed her. After treating the wound, her parents let her rest, although his sister was safe. Money felt guilty for suggesting they search the bodies instead of leaving. Fearing someone had been following them, he decided to search the farm once more. when he heard a noise on the other side of the fence. With his weapon ready, he went to check who was there and found the same young girl he met at the lake. Asking for help the next day, Gay and Haley called the children to a meeting, saying that from now on the surveillance would be even more intense. The property, while Donnie's recovered cookie, and Ren would be responsible for checking supplies and ammunition. As for money, he would help Gain and Haley with surveillance. And if any strangers appeared on the farm, they must eliminate them without hesitation. After the explanation, the family dispersed to start their work. However, Money did not follow orders and went straight to the barn. Upon arriving there, the truth was revealed. He had brought the girl onto the farm, hiding her from his mother. To ensure her safety, he had tied her up. But Money promised not to harm her, and asked to see the wound on her arm before it became infected. Meanwhile, Haley was checking around when she heard a distant noise. Without hesitation, she aimed her gun and pulled the trigger, but there was no sign of a person or object anywhere. This only made her more worried, and she turned on the radio to talk to Cookie, but the girl did not respond. Haley then tried to contact Money, and was furious to learn her son was not at his post, as she had ordered. Fortunately, nothing strange happened on the farm, and as night fell, the family gathered for dinner. Gan commented on the incident at the station and believed the hanging bodies were a trap created by the cannibal group. Ren asked why they did that, and that Gaon draining the blood prevents the body from entering a rapid decomposition process. Seeing his sister's curiosity, Money teased her and asked if she wanted to hang body. Everyone around laughed at the comment, except for Haley, who did not tolerate her son, and the others joking about such a serious matter. She reminded everyone of the severity of the situation, and warned that she would not to be careless or disobey her orders again. However, after dinner, Money returned to the barn and brought food for the strange young girl. He demanded answers, as he knew this was the only way to have a chance for his mother to accept the girl onto the farm. She then introduced herself as Asterisk, a volunteer nurse who came to help the farmers and lived in Jojo Zan's village. However, the place was attacked by the group of cannibals, and she was lucky to escape, eventually making her way to the Freeman farm. Money believed her and loosened her bonds. The two spent the rest of the night talking. He said his mother always found it hard to trust others, and when the chaos happened, she locked herself on the farm and did not allow her children to leave. The young girl understood the situation and noticed he had a cassette player and headphones. She asked to listen to some music, and then the two enjoyed the sounds together for the rest of the night. As dawn broke, Haley went to Money's room but didn't find her son and went to ask the girls where he was. Ren said he was probably in the barn, because he often went there when he wanted to be alone. Unfortunately, for his mother and Gain showed up just as he was with Zara. Upon seeing the intruder, the couple dragged her outside and locked Money in the barn so he wouldn't try to interfere. Haley then drew her gun and told the girl to tell her what she was doing there and how she found the farm. Zara repeated the same story. She told Money that she was a volunteer nurse who came with the coalition army to help the farmers. However, her group was attacked by a group of cannibals, leaving her as the only survivor. Haley didn't believe her and fired a warning shot into the ground, warning that if the girl lied again, the next shot would be in her head. Zara swore she was telling the truth and finally revealed she was Jojo Talus. Asterisk, her aunt had shown her the way to the Freeman farm, and that they would be the only ones who could help her. When Haley heard Jojo's name, she remembered many years earlier, when she had returned to Canada and went to her father's house. There, she went to get who was still a child at the time, to take, after leaving the boy, to live with his grandfather, Felix. For a while, Haley didn't have a good relationship with her father, and only returned to pick up money and leave. She then went to buy some things to take with them, but by night her car broke down and stopped in the middle of the road. Fortunately, a woman drove up and offered help, introducing herself as Asterisk, a friend of Felix's. When she learned Haley was his daughter, Jordan offered her a ride. However, when they arrived at the farm, they found the place had been attacked. Among the victims, Haley found Felix seriously injured, where Money was before dying. The old man pointed out that the child was in the barn, and Haley found her son with an unloaded gun in his hand. Since that day, Haley decided to stay on the farm and was indebted to Jordan. After this memory, she continued to interrogate the girl, while Money rushed to the command center and tried to contact the village to confirm Zara's story. After many attempts, he got a signal from the communicator, but could not speak to Jordan. A few seconds later, Gain and Haley appeared in the command room, and the boy said he had received a call from the village's radio and asked to go there as he wanted, to be sure that Zara was telling the truth. However, Haley opposed the idea because she had no intention of risking her family's lives for a strange girl. Money became angry, saying he was sick of the prison he was living in on the farm, just because his mother couldn't trust anyone else. Haley lost patience and was about to chase after him, but soon calmed down and left the boy alone. In a fit, Money decided to go to Jojo's village himself and drove off in the ATV with Zara. A few minutes later, Haley discovered her son had escaped and asked Guyon to keep watch while she went after Money. Meanwhile, Money found the village, but the place seemed uninhabited, and he went to check around. He found several cars grouped together and started checking inside, but there was no one around. Finally, Zara revealed that the cannibals were nearby, and she was forced to lure the Freeman family there because her aunt Jordan was being held captive. Immediately after, 3 children from the village appeared, and Zara revealed they had managed to keep them safe from the cannibals. Knowing the truth, Money gave the children some food and promised to rescue Jordan and bring everyone safely back to the farm. Meanwhile, Haley also arrived at the village and went to check, but all she found were footprints and blood trails. Jojo's house. Eventually, she went to the office and saw the radio turned on, along with a picture of... Haley decided to take the photo with her, but Jojo, one of the cannibals, emerged from behind and attacked her. She tried to resist, but the man knocked her down. Back at the farm, Gahong and the girls were checking food supplies when suddenly saw something strange on the camera. She showed her father a gap in the fence, and Guyon decided to go there, taking his rifle. Upon arriving, he looked to see if anyone was nearby and saw the antlers of a moose passing through the woods in the distance. Gan believed all animals had died due to the fungal contamination and was surprised to see a live creature after such a long time. However, the truth was soon revealed. It was one of the cannibals in disguise, and in a surprise attack, his accomplice struck Gan on the head, knocking him unconscious. The rest of the group then began to infiltrate the farm, with Ren monitoring the intruders through the camera. Ren then told her sister to hide in the bunker, while she grabbed a rifle and went to deal with the problem. With the rifle aimed out the bedroom window, the girl tried to contact her father. He had just woken up as 2 of the cannibals were nailing his hands to a table. One of them then started to try to eat Gan's arm, but he managed to free his other arm and used the nail to stab the cannibal in the neck. His accomplice tried to attack Gan, but he was quicker and eliminated him by smashing his head into the nail. After dealing with the cannibals, Guyon used the radio to talk to his daughter, just as she started firing at the intruders. Thanks to her marksmanship, she eliminated each enemy one by one, but they were more numerous than she anticipated. Seeing the shots coming from the window, the cannibals returned fire and Ren was almost hit. She was forced to hide behind the wall and heard her father's call over the communicator, telling his daughter to hide in the bunker far away. Haley woke up, tied up in the basement of the house, where she found Jojo. Still alive. She was relieved to see her, and told her about the girl who came to the farm, claiming to be Jojo's She said the girl was forced by the cannibals to go, but the girl wouldn't survive entering the Freeman farm. However, thanks to Money, Zara was saved. This made Jojo realizing that even in a world of chaos, the boy still maintained his humanity. Once everything was explained, the two needed to find a way to escape, and Jojo asked Haley to find the village children and take them to safety. But before they could do anything, the cannibals' leader appeared. He claimed to know Haley and her reputation. He believed she was just like his group, trying to survive, but Haley accused him of eating his own kind. The man just ordered his henchmen to chop off Haley's legs as his people would need food when they returned from hunting. The henchman, but first he dealt with the other prisoners, including Astresk, who was killed right in front of Haley. Then the man took the prisoners' bodies to the warehouse, while Haley watched her friend being murdered, unable to do anything. Hours later, the cannibal returned to the basement and saw Haley, apparently asleep from exhaustion. He took the opportunity to grab the strap to tie the prisoner's legs before cutting them. Unfortunately for him, as soon as he got close, Haley knocked him down with a kick. She clamped his arm and squeezed his head with her legs. The man tried to fight back, but Haley used all her strength and managed to kill him. Crawled across the basement to grab the man's rifle, and the group's leader appeared right after. Luckily, Haley was faster, and without hesitation, she emptied the rifle into the leader, who fell dead on the ground. Finally, Haley was free and hurried back to her family. But first, she bowed her head before Jojo's body and regretted not being able to save her. A few seconds later, someone opened the door and Haley prepared to shoot. But from the other side, Money walked in. She was relieved to see her son safe and said that even if he hated her, she did what she did to protect him. Money replied that he never hated his mother, understood why she was so strict. But now he needed to find his own path in the world and learn to trust others, mother and son, and decided to return to the farm to save the family. Before, Money went to the bus to find Zara and the children, and asked his mother to take them along. Otherwise, they too would become victims of the cannibals. Out of respect for her late friend, Haley agreed to take them, and everyone immediately headed home. Night fell, and the cannibals ran towards the house, but Ren and Cookie were hiding in the secret bunker, taking Donies with them. A while later, Gain appeared through a secret entrance and told his daughters to stay while he finished off the intruders. Gain told Ren to turn off the lights and activate the security locks, with several iron plates blocking the doors and windows. Thanks. The house was completely plunged into darkness, and the cannibals inside had no escape route. Taking advantage of this, Guyan began eliminating the intruders with his gun and knife, giving none of them a chance to defend themselves. Meanwhile, Money and the others arrived at the property and took a shortcut through the gap in the fence. As soon as they reached the field, they encountered more cannibals in hiding, and they started shooting at the group. Haley decided to hold them off and ordered Zara to take the children inside to safety, while Gehan returned to the bunker, and despite his efforts to cannibals, still found the entrance to the hiding place and tried to break the door in. Worse still, they intended to set the house on fire, and Gayan decided to confront them. But he had lost a lot of blood during the confrontation and could barely stand. He told Ren to open the door and let them in before the house was destroyed. The young girl complied, and as soon as she let them through, Ren said she had no weapons and needed help caring for her sister's wound. The cannibal saw Adonis lying on the table and aimed a knife at her, threatening to kill if the sisters tried to trick them. He then sent his accomplice to check the area, and she found a room with a huge weapons cache. Additionally, she found a cabinet full of rare spices that were part of Gayan's collection. The cabinet was secured with a padlock, and the cannibal tried to break it with a rifle. What the crazed woman didn't expect was that Gan was hiding behind the table and holding a shotgun. He eliminated her with one precise shot, seeing his accomplice dead. The remaining cannibal grabbed Cookie and threatened to kill her. But Donnie sprang up from the table and attacked him with a pocket knife. Thanks to this, the man finally let go of Cookie, and Ren took the opportunity to grab his gun and finish him off with a shot. Finally, the group had eliminated the cannibals inside the house, but the confrontation was still ongoing outside. Hallie continued to engage in a gunfight with members of the group, helping Money and the others get inside the house. Eventually, they entered the bunker, where they found Gan seriously injured. Zara offered to treat him. After getting everyone to safety, Money decided to go back out to save his mother. He needed to hurry because Haley was confronting the cannibals alone, and at one point, her gun ran out of bullets. Worse still, she was shot in the leg and tried her best to hide in the barn. However, she was soon surrounded by 3 cannibals, armed with machetes and ready to attack. Despite her injury, Haley was fearless and drew her knife, eliminating the first one. The second henchman rushed in to confront her, and in a moment of distraction, He slashed Haley's body, not satisfied. He started punching her, but Haley attacked the lunatic's arm and finished him off with a blow to the neck. Even so, the last cannibal stabbed her in the back with his knife and headbutted her, causing her to fall to the ground. Haley was exhausted, having no strength left to fight, and the enemy drew his machete for the finishing blow. But Money appeared and shot the man, eliminating the last cannibal. Money then rushed to tend Haley, who asked her son if everyone was safe. He tried to reassure his mother that the family was safe thanks to her. This brought Haley relief, but due to her injuries, she passed out in his son's arms. Many days later, Money and the family cared for the farm, now with new members after another day of work. Everyone gathered to eat with Haley, who, despite being severely injured, had survived, however. The recovery process would be slow. For this reason, Money took responsibility for watching over the property. After praying, everyone enjoyed the feast on the table. Finally, Haley looked at her son with pride, certain that she had raised him well, and learned from him that even in difficult times, there's reason to trust others. The act of cannibalism in the film is not merely a shocking or dramatic element. It is a symbol of the ultimate moral decay, the nature of humanity when pushed to the limits of desperation. Every scene where a cannibal appears sends chills down the viewer's spine. A feeling of nausea arises, not only because of the physical brutality, but also because of the spiritual barbarity. Eating one's own kind is the final boundary between human and beast, and when humans are willing to cross that line, they are no longer human, however. Amidst that darkness and gore, the film does not stop at horror. It also clearly depicts something more important. Humanity can still survive even in hell. Money, and the children did not surrender to fear, nor did they become monsters. To survive, they fought not just to live, but to protect each other, to retain human, to prove that even if the world is swallowed by chaos, faith and love can still be the strongest weapons. The scene where Haley is injured, exhausted but still fighting until her last breath, or the moment Money turns back to save his mother, is not simply a heroic act. It is a human declaration against degradation. We are not like them because we still have hearts, still have love, still know how to sacrifice for others. And that is why the most gruesome images further highlight the fragile yet resilient light of human compassion. The film not only makes us shudder because of the blood and flesh, but also makes us deeply reflect on the moral boundary, on human nature, choice between becoming a monster or retaining the human part of oneself, even if the whole world collapses.